Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Perfect. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to get seated, and we will begin. Is it against protocol to look at yourself on the big screen? Because I've been doing it all day. I'm sorry. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Conley, president of the MOCAN-E chapter. There we go. I appreciate it. And tonight, I'll be your MC. Before we go any further, I want to thank all of you for taking the time away from your families to be here to learn to better serve other families. So give yourself a round of applause. Now, I have to be honest, I am super nervous. I am. Now, before I came on Friday, I talked to my wife and I said, "Hun, I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna be the MC for the banquet and there are gonna be all of these people, there are gonna be giants in trio. What do I do?" And she gave me the most uninspiring message ever. She looked me in the eye and she said, "Mike, you need to get up there and you need to be charming, you need to be funny, and you need to be smart. You're none of these things in real life. Go pretend to be Denzel Washington." And on those uninspiring words, I'd like to introduce you to the dais. On the dais this evening, on your left, my right, we have 2014 Trio Achiever, Dr. Simon Shannon. We have 2014 Trio Achiever, Mr. Mike Muse. We have Ms. Dory Kempf, past president, Minnesota Trio. And the woman of the hour, Ms. Annette Horvat, immediate past president for the association. We have Ms. Ellie Burns, president, Iowa Trio. We have 2014 Trio Achiever, Ms. Kao Kalia Yang. And last, but certainly not least, we have 2014 Trio Achiever, Dr. Amanda Morales. This evening, we also have the presence of two professors from the University of Minnesota, Ms. Emma Leonards and Ms. Ushi Winyagwe, who are guests of Dr. Kamatuka. Can we please honor them? Thank you. At this time, please help me welcome to the podium immediate past president of the association, Annette Horvat.
I think I've been up here before this week. Okay, good evening, everyone. As the immediate past president of the Mid-America Association of Educational Opportunity Program Personnel, I welcome you to the MAEOPP 40th Anniversary Gala entitled A Shining Example of Hope for Educational Opportunity. Tonight we will dine together and pay tribute to our 40 years of advocacy to promote and defend educational opportunity. We will honor 4 Trio Achievers who have excelled to become truly stellar individuals in their career field. We will recognize 2 TRIO champions who have spent their careers helping people achieve the American dream. I would like to take a moment to recognize our supporters of MAEOPP, our steward sponsors, some of whom are not able to be with us tonight, but if you are here, please just give a wave to the audience as I call your name. We have Hybrid Consulting, Innovative Educators, the MAEOPP supporters, Friends of St. Olaf College, Normandale Community College, Augsburg College, and the University of Wisconsin River Falls. Minnesota TRIO, MOCANE chapter of MAEOPP, the Northeast Higher Education District, which includes my colleges of Hibbing, Itasca, Mesabi Range, Rainy River, and Vermilion. Paperclip Communications. And a special thanks to Proforma Green Marketing, who donated to our student conferences this fall and have helped us in so many other ways. Okay. We also have other special guests from the Council for Opportunity and Education, and we have the Minnesota State Representative Carlos Mariniera Rosa, and Patrick Troop, the Vice President of Student Affairs from the Minneapolis Community and Technical College. I would like to thank you for joining us, and if I've missed naming someone, please excuse me. This is definitely a danger of giving a personal thanks while up in front of 500 people. But before we begin dinner, please just let me indulge you for a few more moments so that I can pay a special thanks to some of those who have supported me as I have been mentored through TRIO and becoming your association president over the last year. I know I've said this in a couple other meetings, but I want to pay tribute again to the 2014 MAEOPP Board of Directors and the 2014 committee chairs and committee members. If you just want to kind of take a raise and a wave of your hand to identify yourselves, thank you so much. I have been honored to serve alongside you. And again, I think we just need to give another round of applause for this year's annual conference chair team, the team, Maudie and Chris, and all the other individuals that have helped you. This is truly an amazing evening and wonderful conference so far. Next, I must turn to my colleagues from the Northeast Higher Education District. And I'm trying to see, it's kind of dark over there, if our president, Sue Collins, made it. Hi, Sue. Sue is from International Falls, which is very on the northern point of Minnesota, and had to travel down in this weather, so thank you for joining us, Sue. Along with our president, Sue Collins, there are 7 of our 45 TRIO staff from our district's 6 TRIO projects that are here with us tonight. And I won't ask you to stand, or you don't even have to raise your hand if you don't want to, but I must say from the bottom of my heart how much I truly appreciate you and for all the support that you have shown while I have served TRIO outside of my regular day job of serving our students. I simply could not have done this without you, so I thank you for being here. From the first moment I began with TRIO, my husband Ed knew that I had found my calling, my passion for giving back to others. And over the 27 years of our marriage, we have raised 2 sons, Ernest and Richard, although who could not be with us tonight, have, along with Ed, encouraged me, cheered me on, and helped me in my work for TRIO. Ed, you are my best friend, who knows me only too well, and that I work nonstop when I'm on a mission. And TRIO is a mission. You have made sure all the little things that you've done so that I've taken care of myself. and that I've kept a life in balance during this year of my presidency. And I just want to say thank you and how much I love you. And I'm glad you're with me tonight. Mid-America, it has truly been an honor to serve.
Past President Horvath, thank you for your service. You did an outstanding job. At this time, please join me in a moment of silence in appreciation of the meal that we are about to receive. Thank you. Dinner is served. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Slowly but surely. Before we go on with our Trio Achievers program, I'd like to recognize a guest in our audience, Mr. Wade Robinson, Vice President of Student Affairs at Wichita State University. Everyone give him a round of applause. Mr. Robinson, thank you for your support. Tonight is truly a special evening as we have the opportunity to hear from some of our most distinguished Trio alumni. As you read the brief bio of each achiever, you will be humbled, inspired, and reminded that Trio indeed does work. In a moment, each Trio achiever will share their story, and I guarantee that you will be impressed and moved by their stories of triumph and perseverance. I'd like to start the Trio Achiever celebration by introducing to you Dr. Amanda Morales, who is a McNair Scholars alumna from Kansas State University. Dr. Morales is currently an assistant professor of educational foundations and multicultural education, curriculum and instruction at Kansas State University. She earned an MS degree in educational foundations at Texas Christian University and both her BA and PhD from Kansas State University. Dr. Morales' doctoral degree is in curriculum and instruction. Dr. Kathleen Green from Kansas State University nominated Dr. Morales for this distinguished award. With great pleasure, I introduce to you Dr. Amanda Morales, 2014 Trio Achiever.
Good evening, everyone. It is such an honor to be here among the greats. I sincerely mean that. I joked with some of the McNair students at K-State that I was going to talk about overcoming struggle, and that I really wasn't going to talk about overcoming being the only ethnic minority family in a rural agricultural town in western Kansas, that the biggest struggle was collecting data in Dodge City, Kansas, with my husband, my dog, my 3-year-old daughter, and my 2-week-old son in July. So either way, it's been a long road, and I have a lot to thank Miss Kathy for inspiring me. And again, it is such an honor to be here. If I were to boil down my successes in a nutshell, I would have to say that there are 3 elements that tend to rise to the top. And for a small town kid like me, I was the daughter of a migrant farm worker who met my mama in Kansas and never left. And my father really tried to instill in me this notion of broadening my perspective. And as a Kansas kid, it's hard to understand what that might mean. I know what the horizon is, but what did he mean by that? But one of the beautiful things about McNair is they helped me understand what that meant to broaden my perspective. And so much of that in my time as a McNair scholar at K-State was seeing other students around me who had the same struggle, who were going through the same issues that I was going through, and they essentially were in the same fight as I was to be successful. And the other thing that I would say is a significant piece was McNair taught me that I needed to not only be open to possibilities, but to expect them, to expect opportunities. So, little did I know, by expecting opportunity to happen to you when you work hard, it makes it a whole lot easier to not be afraid. It makes it a whole lot easier to not let fear of your own inadequacy get in the way. Because when you're expecting something to happen, it's like, oh, here it is. You've been waiting for this. And I take that with me, and I cherish that, and it still impacts my life and my professional work today. And I would say the third thing, other than them just pushing me with high expectations and lots of support, would be daring me to lead, daring me to be a leader, even though every fiber of me didn't feel like being a leader. My 5'2" frame doesn't seem all that intimidating by any means. But the women and men in the McNair program showed me what it really meant to lead, and they did that by serving and continuing to put in front of us as McNair scholars a possible self, a future self that gave us something to focus on and to strive for. And anytime we would veer or want to give up or lose our way, they'd redirect us back to that possible self, that future self, that potential for what we could be. And I tell you today that I live my life to do that for other students, the McNair students on my own campus, my future teacher candidates in the College of Education, my own children, mi familia, my nieces and nephews and cousins. I live to pay it forward, and I know that sounds cliche, but I have been given so very, very much, and so much of it that I didn't deserve. A lot of it was just the opportunity, and I'm so thankful for that. And one last thing I would like to say is that the work that you do not only provides opportunities, because lots of people can provide individuals an opportunity. The work that the TRIO program does that I find to be the most fundamental is the fact that with the opportunity comes the mentorship, the companionship, the support, the encouragement to believe, number one, that you deserve that opportunity, because a lot of us don't believe we do, and how to lay hold of it, how to maximize that opportunity, what to do with it once you have it. That I think a lot of first-gen students, a lot of underrepresented students, that's the piece. They can have something handed to them by someone who's good intentioned, but unless they've been equipped with tools to know what to do with that, where to take it, how to be strategic, it's difficult. It's difficult. And I can't thank you enough, Kathy, for nominating me and thanking the TRIO programs. My life has truly changed. I thought about community college, maybe, and now I'm here and I'm teaching at a university, and I've had the opportunity to travel all over the world and to work with amazing thinkers from MIT and the Smithsonian and Science Museum of Minnesota and the Exploratorium, and to do grant writing and teach and research and publish and do what I love to do every single day, and it's because of you. Thank you all very much.
Dr. Morales, on behalf of the Mid-America Association of Educational Opportunity Program Personnel, we would like to present you with this award to recognize your accomplishments as a TRIO alum. Congratulations.
Right, everyone give Dr. Morales another round of applause, please. Our next TRIO achiever is Ms. Kao Kalia Yang. Kao Kalia Yang is both a Student Support Services and McNair Scholars alumna. Ms. Yang completed her BA in American Studies, Cross-Cultural Studies, and Women and Gender Studies at Carleton College, where she became involved with TRIO as an SSS participant. While at Carleton, Ms. Yang also participated in the University of Minnesota's McNair Scholars Program. She completed her MFA from Columbia University School of Arts in Creative Nonfiction Writing. Ms. Yang is an author and is best known for her highly acclaimed first book, The Late Homecomer. In addition, Ms. Yang has held adjunct faculty positions and served as an artist and writer in residence at several universities. Ms. Yang was nominated by Kathy Glampy, who is the SSS director at St. Olaf College. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Ms. Kao Kalia Yang, 2014 TRIO Achiever.
Can you all see me? Thank you, Dr. Morales, for going first. And then I want to thank Kathy for looking across the river and for seeing me. I want to thank Bruce and Sharon for devoting your life to young people like me and the big dreams that we carry inside, even when we don't have the words to speak them aloud. Denise, Joy, and Retta Turner are not in the room, but I have them to thank as well for leading me and giving me good examples of who I want to be when I grow up. I know that I'm in a room with my peers and my mentors, all of you, that you're dedicated to helping young people like me. And so it's really an honor to be here tonight. You know, I never write speeches. I don't know what particularly where I'm going to go. But Aaron Hokinson, my husband, feel free to cough when I go on for too long. He's been coughing a lot these days, so I haven't been getting a lot of sleep. When I hit the 6-minute mark, please feel free. But I want to thank you, too, for a privileged white boy who heard a story, saw a face, and who chose love. We live in a complicated world. We live in complicated times. I think it's brave of you to see someone like me and join me in the fight that is my life and the life of so many that I carry inside. And I was born. I was born in a refugee camp. For the first 6 years of my life, all I knew were the 400 acres that 40,000 Hmong people waited on, the dust that flew around us. My father used to take me on the tops of his shoulders, carry me around and say, look at everything, look at everyone. When his feet got tired of the 400 acres, he used to take me to the tops of the trees, carry me in his arms and say, this is a bigger world. One day your little feet will walk on the horizons that you've never seen. My father looked at me and he said, you're not a child of poverty, of war, or despair. You are hope being born, the captain to a more beautiful future. We came to America. I began first grade. All I knew was A, B, and C. Every time I wrote something, my teachers would squiggly line it. There was always a question mark. The question was, what do you mean to say? I got so many opportunities on the page. You send a little girl chasing after meaning, you create a writer in the process. Writers do not come from families alone. They emerge from communities like this one. When I first began at Carleton College, I never owned a computer. My mom and dad left me standing outside of Muster Hall with a cardboard box in my hands. I knew exactly what was in their bank account because neither my mom nor dad spoke English fluently, so my sister and I had access to their accounts. They had $2,000 and $400. When the Honda CR-V left with 8 members of my family, I went into my room and I opened up the cardboard box, and it was a Toshiba laptop priced at $2,100. My mom and dad had cleared up their account their whole life to send me to Carleton College because my sister had read somewhere that Carleton was the Harvard of the Midwest. She said that life is like a ladder. If she was going to be the first tier, then I had to be the second one. She pushed me up. At Carleton, I met a woman named Joy Lakowski, and she said to me, her name now is Joy Klutz. It's been a long time. But she said to me that you will meet people who will change your life forever, and you won't know it in the moment of meeting. She would be one of those people for me. I didn't have a voice, but I love words because I lived on the page. and she read the things I had to say. And so here I am. Now I live with a laptop. And now words, they come out of me, and I don't know quite where they're going to go. I love to tell you that my life is good and that I have nothing to worry about and that I want a modicum of respect for the work that I do. But that would be a lie. Every time I stand up to speak, because nobody pays young writers to write, they don't care what my next sentence is. Nobody wants to know what the next word is. If you're lucky, you get airplane tickets and you get a microphone to amplify the weakness. Away from the mic. My voice is so weak. You get microphones like this. And every time I stand up and I have to fight to become an American writer one more time. Because when people look at me, they say, "Are you from the Hmong story?" And I have to say the Hmong story is the next chapter of the American story, American history. In auditoriums full of people, I speak, and I think I'm doing a good job. I think I'm moving people. I think my tears, the tears I cannot hide in my voice, are speaking, crying for understanding. Someone gets up and says, "If you want to speak your language, go home." I have to fight to say I belong here, I am home. That America is nothing more than you looking at me looking at you, and us offering each other belonging, understanding, love. I don't know how to live in the world except by the words of my grandma, who told me that in life is nothing more than moments strung on the thread of time, that no human being can give our all to all of life because life is so big. All we can do is give our all to one moment. That one moment opens up the possibility for the next. I have spent my life living in moments. I don't dream of the future. I walk toward it with pride and dignity because all of the people who I care about, who I love, fell somewhere along the way, so I could be here. They fell somewhere along the way so I could be here. I want to conclude my words because there's a man and a woman, and they're in Cannon Falls, Minnesota, and they can't be here tonight, but they will call me and they will ask me how tonight went. My next book is called The Song Poet. It is a story of my father's life in his form, the Gutsia. And this is a song for my brothers and sisters and I, song for my children. I want to share it with all of you before I share it with the rest of the world, because you were the first ones to read those first words. We've come here as strangers. Our sons have learned their letters, and our daughters have learned their voice. But their mothers and fathers miss. We miss the act of carrying water and the motion of harvesting wild greens. Miss how the padia birds fly in their flock. 98 differing flowers bloom, and 78 insects cry in their varied voices. We can hear the gogiyalau birds cry in the wind. The cloud flowers fall upon the harvest of cloud fruits, up high on our mountainous homes. The mothers and fathers whisper sorrow among themselves. We whisper of missing each and every little thing. We whisper, how do we live in this land as strangers beneath the foreign sky until the day we die? My mom and dad believe in happy endings. They believe in me. They tell me that I'm as far into the future as they're ever going to get. I have a 1-year-old little daughter. I believe in her possibility. I know that the best teachers have never set my limits. They've pushed for my possibilities. And so I'm proud to be here with all of you to stand pushing for the best of who we can be. Everybody can find the worst, but we push those possibilities. We push for the very best. And I'm honored by the work that you've done, all of you, in raising young people like me, because I'm not alone. And for that, I thank you.
Kao Kalia Yang, On behalf of the Mid-America Association of Educational Opportunity Program Personnel, we would like to present you with this award to recognize your accomplishments as a TRIO alumna. Congratulations.
Our next TRIO achiever is Mr. Mike Muse. Mike Muse is an Upward Bound alumnus from Michigan State University and earned his BS in Industrial Engineering at the University of Michigan. Mr. Muse is the co-founder of Muse Recordings and guest commentator on the business of music, pop, culture, and politics at the highest rated urban radio stations in the country. In addition, he is a guest lecturer on topics regarding business of music and politics, and was the creator and co-lecturer of Jermaine Dupri's college book speaking tour, The Making of a Music Mogul. You may also recognize Mr. Muse as he was recently honored as the 2014 National TRIO Achiever. Mr. Muse was nominated by Sandy Firestone at Michigan State University for this regional award, and it is with great pleasure that I introduce to you Mr. Mike Muse, 2014 TRIO Achiever.
Thank you, Mike, for that great introduction. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Minneapolis, which somewhat is my home. I am from the Midwest, from Michigan, as noted, and I had go Blue. I had the great pleasure of interning here with 3M. I was with a consulting firm, and so our client was 3M, and so I traveled here every week in the summertime. So in part, I feel like this is my home. I want to say I am extremely honored and proud of all the honorees that are being honored tonight. I've had the opportunity to hear your words, and very moving and very stirring. I had the chance to sit next to an individual who I am just in awe of your accomplishments of 11 patents. And you too, Dory, too, as well. As a former engineer, I just know what it took for you to have 11 patents, and sir, I just salute you and say I'm honored to be awarded and sat right next to you. I am moved as I go about my life, as I go about my journey, as I get older, I become more emotional. I often find myself crying probably about once a month at the awesome responsibility that God has given to me, and the awesome responsibility that I feel of my community weighted on my shoulders. I have the privilege, yes, you can clap, thank you. I had the privilege of sitting in positions and rooms where most people who look like me don't have that opportunity. I have the position and opportunity to sit at seats at the table where I am just a kid from Lansing, Michigan who enjoys a cheeseburger, but yet I'm sitting at a table of 10, sitting next to the most important and powerful man in the world, and I'm having a conversation with him about how we need to shape and change the narrative of minimum wage. Every time I take that notion into the room with me, I am thinking about race and class, and that is an awesome responsibility for someone who is just 36, just going through the motions of life. As I think about why me, why am I selected, why am I privileged, why have I been tasked with bringing more seats to the table, and every day I think about this notion of race and class. I deal with race and class in every walk of my life, and it is daunting. I used to think about civil rights leaders and social workers and those who deal with at-risk communities and underrepresented communities, and I would say, how do you separate your work? How do you come home and not feel that tension? And they say, we can't. And I think the mark of a true leader who knows that they've been called, they feel that responsibility, and I'm going through my moment of accepting the call. And as you go through a moment of accepting the call, you can't help but feel this emotion. As I think about, I come from a city, Lansing, where we all had the same social economical backgrounds. We all went to the same elementary school. We all went to the same middle school. We all went to the same high school. But yet here I am standing in front of you, and yet here I am standing on national television, and yet here I am hosting national radio shows, and I often say, why me? How did I get lucky? How did I get chose? How did I become that person who, as they say, pulled themselves up by their bootstraps? But actually say that I didn't. I wasn't that guy. I'm only responsible here because of individuals like yourselves who are not like your husband allow you to support your mission, the mission to help and to save and to pull up a young man like myself. The mission, which is Sandy Firestone, my nominator. She is the one who exposed me to this whole new world, which was upward bound, this whole new world of expectations, this whole new world that college was an expectation. It was the next part of my journey. How did this little 4'2" Sandy, lady of such dynamicism, teach a guy like me that? And it's just simply in a simple story. The simple story of a road trip that absolutely changed my life. Once I got accepted to the University of Michigan, she said, Mike, have you ever been? I said, no, I'm just happy I'm going. Isn't that the end all be all? And she said, you have to see the campus. You have to tour it. You have to get to know your new surroundings. So she said, we're going to go see the University of Michigan. I'm like, okay, Sandy, whatever. And then so she said, Mike, I insist. And when this 4'2" lady speaks like that, you respond and you say, okay. Next thing I know, I found myself in her car, like the next day, traveling down to Ann Arbor. And she literally parked her car next to the first building that she saw. And that first building that she saw ended up becoming a dormitory. So this little 4'2" Hispanic lady is taking around this big black guy, and we're knocking on a dormitory door on the first floor. I'm like, whoa. This is not what you do, Sandy. She says, Michael, it's fine. She knocks on his door, and this young white girl opens up the window, and I'm like, this is not gonna be good. And the girl is like, yeah. And Sandy was like, I have a student here. He's coming to Michigan. He must see his room. He must see the dorms and what his bed is gonna look like and the showers and the hallways. I'm like, this lady is nuts. And do you know this little white girl let us in? I couldn't even believe it. So we get in, and I see my room, theoretically where I'm going to be. And would you know that that is the exact dormitory that I got assigned once I got my housing? And would you know, to take it a step further, that that is exactly the same side of the dorm, Lloyd and Winchell, just 2 floors higher. Talk about blessings and callings and when you're adorned to do it. But Sandy didn't stop there. Sandy said, Michael, you're going to be an engineer. We have to go see the engineering campus. I'm like, Sandy, enough. I get it. Like, this is what's going to happen. So we pull up, and in true Sandy fashion, she parks her car next to the first engineering building she sees. And so we park the car, and so we go in, and she asked to speak to the minority engineering program director. And remind you, we didn't have an appointment, no meetings, no email, no texting, none of that. And this poor little receptionist, she was like, can I help you? And Sandy was like, yes, I have a student here. He's coming. He's been accepted. He's going to be an engineer. He has to meet the director of program and engineering. And she's like, yeah, whatever. Everyone wants to meet him. Do you have an appointment? Sandy was like, no. But that didn't stop Sandy. Sandy insisted. She was so persistent that this lady went and asked the director, did he have time to meet with us? Sure enough, the director comes out, to my complete shock and awe. And he comes out and he takes a meeting with me. And little did you know that this director put me in the minority engineering program, summer program that I started 6 weeks prior to starting at the University of Michigan. He went on to become one of my biggest champions at the University of Michigan. He went on to become my biggest champion, who found me all my internships, scholarships. And I used to have dinner at his house with him and his wife, all because of a 4'2" woman wouldn't give up. That is trio. That is who you are. That is what Sandy is. That is the exposure that I'm talking about. And to this day, me and that minority engineering program director actually sit and talk about ways to push the notion of policy of STEM. And that's all because of Sandy Firestone. That's all because of trio. That's all because you guys have this mission where you don't give up. And that's really what this is. That's really what life is about, is exposure. It's not about pulling yourself by your bootstraps. It's about fighting and advocating for those who don't have a voice, fighting and advocating for those who don't even know what they need to be exposed to. So as I continue my fight, as I continue to push forward, as I continue to push ahead and think through those notions of race and class. As I sit and push through those notions when I'm downgraded on national radio, when I'm considered a slam poet and I'm disrespected and all these things, and people are calling and listening and texting and saying, can you believe they're talking about you like that? But what I do is I stand strong so I know who I am. I know what I've been gifted to do. And is in my response is what gives them resolve to say that I too can be like you. So Sandy, in part, I am taking your fight with me every day as I push through the barriers of race and class. I'm taking the fight that you took as you met me as Minority Engineering Programming Director, and the fight is still with me to get more students of color advanced in STEM. Sandy, I'm taking this fight all the way to the White House to let the president know more individuals need to stand up and do their part. Sandy Firestone, I will never forget you. Trio, I would never forget you. Thank you for letting me push through race and class to make a difference. Thank you so much.
Mike Muse, on behalf of the Mid-America Association of Educational Opportunity Program Personnel, we would like to present you with this award to recognize your accomplishments as a TRIO alumnus. Congratulations.
All right, one more round of applause for all of our TRIO achievers. Our final TRIO achiever this evening is Dr. Simon Shannon. Dr. Simon Shannon is the final achiever that we will recognize. Dr. Shannon is the Advanced Product Development Specialist of the Industrial Mineral Products Division at the 3M Company. He earned his BA in Chemistry at the University of Minnesota Morris. During his undergraduate years, Dr. Shannon participated in the McNair Scholars Program at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. Dr. Shannon went on to pursue a PhD in organic chemistry at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. We thank his nominators, Bruce and Sharon Shelsky, for introducing us to Dr. Shannon, and it's with great pleasure that I introduce to you our last TRIO achiever, Dr. Simon Shannon.
Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here tonight and share this dais with such an amazing group of people. Also, to be recognized as a 2014 TRIO Achiever. To my fellow achievers, Amanda, Kalia, and Mike, congratulations. Those were some very powerful words, Mike, and I echo your comments about the other achievers, and also share the same respect that you have for me with your achievements, so thank you for that. I would like to thank MAEOPP and for hosting this event tonight. I'm sure it took a lot of planning to put this event together and acknowledge us individuals up here today. So thank you for that. I want to thank Sharon and Bruce Shelsky, the past directors of TRIO and Student Support Services at the University of Minnesota, for nominating me this year, and also my PhD advisor, Dr. George Barani, and Mrs. Kim Price of 3M Gibbs, who is unavailable to meet. She wasn't able to be with us this evening, but I want to thank you too for your letters of support. So thank you. And my wife, Dr. Bridget Shannon, thank you for putting up with me over the years and also supporting me and all the sacrifices and all your love. So thank you for also supporting me. So this award is one of the most distinguished recognitions that I have ever received. In fact, this is the first time that I've had to give an acceptance speech for any type of award. So it truly means a lot to me to be able to stand in front of all of you this evening and reflect upon the impact that TRIO and McNair has and continues to have on my life. And my background, briefly, is probably similar to a number of people here today. Is very humble beginnings, a product of a single-parent, low-income household, a father who was incarcerated, a family that was financially and educationally disadvantaged, But despite those challenges, there were government-funded programs that helped me pay for college and allowed me to become the first in my family to receive an accredited college degree. And tonight, I stand before you as a PhD at 3M and now receiving this TRIO Achiever recognition, so it's truly an honor. So TRIO and McNair, I consider as building blocks that make up my foundation as a professional, my foundation for wanting to do high-quality work, my foundation as a leader and passion for giving back, and also my foundation for communicating effectively. I read a quote recently which stated, "No matter what job you have, your success will be determined 5% by your academic credentials, 15% by your professional experience, and 80% by your communication skills." So when I think back upon the impact that McNair had on me, I remember that first PowerPoint presentation that I'd ever assembled, the first poster that I had ever presented, the first technical report that I had ever written and assembled. And I remember my first presentation at a national McNair conference. Now, I want to thank Sharon and Bruce Shelsky. I remember how much I practiced for those presentations, how nervous I was to make sure, practicing so much to make sure that the presentation was flawless. And you guys, thank you for asking me to stand in front of that 1997 McNair class and give that presentation on how to use PowerPoint. That was my first opportunity to formally teach and lead, believe it or not, right in the Ronald E. McNair Scholars Program. And I also want to thank Dr. George Barani for that wager that we had at the time of me submitting my PhD thesis, that for every 5 mistakes, I would buy you 1 Coke. And you, being the editorial guru that you are, had me just shy of a 6-pack. But the point is, those experiences gave me the confidence to write, the confidence to present, and today as a product developer and as a commercialization leader at 3M, I am still using those fundamentals, those communication fundamentals, still giving high-quality presentations, writing documents that are worthy of publication and patents, and still building upon that foundation that I've learned many years ago as a Ronald E. McNair Scholar. Today I am a servant who is passionate about helping students, recruiting underrepresented students, helping with resume writing, giving career advice, also encouraging students to become experts in their fields now that they have so much knowledge right at their fingertips with tablets and smartphones. I'm also passionate about helping minorities become better corporate contributors by contributing and supporting organizations like the Omega Psi Phi fraternity and the National Organization of Black Chemists and Chemical Engineers and the 3M African American Network, also a part of 3M Gives. So my passion for giving back is genuinely fueled by the association that I had with the McNair Scholars Program. And again, I want to thank Sharon and Bruce for encouraging me to mentor those incoming McNair scholars and encouraging me to stay active as a McNair alumnus and chaperoning students to the National McNair Conferences. Thank you, George, again, for appointing me to lead your lab as a senior lab manager and instilling me the motto that nothing is hard, but everything takes time. So for those who do not know, 3M has supported TRIO through the Council of Educational Opportunity over the years. And tonight I am pleased to announce that 3M Gives has committed a grant in the amount of $5,000 to support the Minnesota MAEOPP Education Foundation for support for students. So in closing, I want to thank MAEOPP for helping me get on that level playing field and granting me access to the educational opportunity as a first-generation, low-income student. I also want to thank TRIO and McNair for giving me Sharon and Bruce and George, who pushed me to my intellectual limit, cared for me as a person, and never lost interest in my development even after I had graduated. The development that I received in the McNair Scholars Program was my educational foundation, and this TRIO Achiever Award cements that foundation. And for that, I am thankful and grateful to be honored in such a special way. Thank you.
Dr. Shannon, on behalf of the Mid-America Association of Educational Opportunity Program Personnel, we would like to present you with this award to recognize your accomplishments as a TRIO alumnus. Congratulations.
Let's please give our 4 TRIO Achievers another round of applause. Our first TRIO Champion Award tonight goes to Iowa Senator Tom Harkin. The award was officially presented on October 27th when Senator Harkin visited Iowa Central Community College TRIO Student Support Services Program. In his speech to the students that day, he shared some insight into his own upbringing and educational journey, which led him to public office. He compared the work he has done to a ladder, reminding the students that a ladder requires work, energy, and motivation. The ladder's rungs are there to assist students as they climb to success, and those rungs are an important piece of every student's journey. He reminded students to remember that they must leave the ladder and hopefully improve the ladder for future generations. When we hear this analogy, we understand Senator Harkin's belief that no student should be denied the opportunity for rich learning experiences because of a disability, family income, or zip code. Senator Harkin has represented Iowa for over 40 years, and in that time, his contributions at the state and federal level have had substantial impact on the nation's priorities for equal opportunity and education. After representing the 5th Congressional District for 10 years, he ran against an incumbent senator and proceeded to hold that seat for the next 5 elections. During his time in the Senate, Harkin's signature legislative achievement, the Americans with Disability Act, changed the landscape of America by requiring buildings and transportation to be wheelchair accessible and provided workplace accommodations for people with disabilities. And believing that learning starts at birth and preparation for learning starts before birth, Senator Harkin has worked to shape education policies from K-12 to higher education. It is this passion for equal opportunities, coupled with his unique position as chairman of the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions HELP Committee and the Appropriations Subcommittee on Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies, that has provided TRIO programs with a true champion. This is evident in his prioritization of TRIO funding, particularly in recent years of budget cuts. In the 2014 appropriations, TRIO saw full restoration of sequestration cuts because of Senator Harkin's leadership. TRIO was one of just 9 programs within the entire Department of Education, as we know, and the only higher education program to receive this level of sequester relief. Senator Harkin is truly a champion for TRIO and all educational opportunity programs. His dedication to the programs and the families we serve is evident. And while we will all miss this ally when he retires, his legacy will remain for many years to come in the faces of the students who have received an opportunity to climb the ladder for success. At this time, it gives me great honor to award Senator Harkin with a TRIO Champion Award on behalf of MAEOPP. Accepting this award on his behalf is Iowa TRIO President Ellie Burns.
Senator Harkin regretfully could not be here with us, but he has shared a special video, and I think we're going to play that now.
Hi, I'm Senator Tom Harkin from Iowa. I welcome all of you to Bloomington, and I salute the professionals from across the Midwest who work their hearts out to make our TRIO programs so successful. These programs have a tremendous track record of helping disadvantaged students to aspire to college, prepare for college, attend college, and graduate from college. Every day, you strive to provide opportunities and advancement for young people. You give them a hand up, not a hand out. And this is about the most important work that I can imagine. So I join you in celebrating the success of 4 outstanding TRIO achievers: Dr. Amanda Morales, Dr. Simon Shannon, Mike Muse, and Keo Kalia Yang. They are wonderful examples of how TRIO programs give deserving young people the opportunity to excel and accomplish big things in life. When it comes to higher education, young people from poor and disadvantaged backgrounds continue to face truly savage inequalities. For Americans born around 1980, the college completion rate for kids from low-income backgrounds was less than 10%, while the completion rate for kids from affluent families was better than 50%. This, in turn, perpetuates and deepens the inequalities in our society. America must do better. As a society, we have an enlightened self-interest in giving a fair shot to all of our young people, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds. So, my friends, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your dedication to providing a strong ladder of opportunity for young people across the Midwest. Thank you for all you do to ensure the success of our TRIO programs. Let's make sure that they remain strong for generations to come. So have a great conference here in Bloomington, and by all means have a safe trip home afterward.
For our final award recipient of the night, we heard from him this morning, and he had traveled through the snowy weather to present both a concurrent session on the state-level data for higher ed opportunity, and then right after came into our mid-morning plenary on unlinking, or maybe unthinking, as he noted, policy to reality and opportunity for higher ed. Many of us know Tom Mortensen has been presenting his policy research on opportunity for post-secondary education at not only regional conferences like ours and chapter conferences where I got to meet with him last spring, but national and international conferences as well. He has led national efforts to educate and train others to create greater awareness of our student population by the way of data and scholarly work in relation to degree attainment, income status, and other demographics. Many have used his research findings over the years, and he is continually sought out for consultation. Even going into retirement, he continues to be a champion contributor and continues to seek out opportunity to present his most current research. We learned this morning at the MAEOPP Education Foundation that Tom has gifted a research award. And on behalf of MAEOPP and MEF, I thank you, Tom, for this amazing gift. It was at the Iowa Trio Conference this past spring, Tom and I talked of his interest to present at MAEOPP this year. And although he wasn't sure if he could, explaining someone who, I must keep nameless, signed a conference dates during the Minnesota deer season. And of course, he did mention his hunting adventures earlier today and that 10-point buck that kept walking underneath his deer stand at 1 a.m. last night. So when we saw each other again in September at the COE conference, he committed on the spot to come speak to us. And although he warned he may come in bright orange attire of our current season. And I assured him, with myself being from northern Minnesota, I have seen many camouflage and orange tuxedos. He was welcome in that attire if he so choose to come straight from the woods. And I'm so glad you're here with us throughout the day and this evening. So his bio was read this morning, but not everyone was in the room. So as a senior scholar at the Pell Institute for the Study of Opportunity in Higher Education in Washington, D.C., and an independent higher education policy analyst, Mr. Mortensen authored the Post-Secondary Education Opportunity Research newsletter. Back in the early 90s, when I first started working in the TRIO office, I remember my supervisor reading Opportunity, and she kept them all in a 3-ring binder. And if I remember correctly, they already came 3-hole punched. But if my memory isn't serving me right, my boss quickly had 3-hole punched that to be sure it got securely stored with all the other additions for our reference in our work with our TRIO students. And as highlighted at his plenary, this newsletter was founded on 2 fundamental beliefs. First, sound public policy requires accurate, current, independent, and focused information on the human condition. Second, education is essential to the development of human potential and resources for both private and public benefit. Therefore, the purpose of this research letter is to inform those who formulate, fund, and administer public policy and programs about the condition of and influences that affect post-secondary education for opportunity for all Americans. As I prepared my tribute of Tom, I did contact one of his 2 staff at post-secondary, and he had mentioned them this morning. To quote Nicole Brent from post-secondary, Tom is a great guy who cares about people and the struggles they face. He is always working hard to open people's eyes to the changing world and to the struggles that the U.S. faces. Tom is a modern-day hero, helping those less fortunate to achieve the American dream. I concur and say Tom Mortensen truly believes in the mission of educational opportunity programs and has spent his entire professional life contributing to the purposes of our association and so much more. So tonight I present to you Thomas G. Mortensen, Mid-America's 2014 Champion for TRIO and Educational Opportunity. If you'd like to come up. I promised him he didn't have to speak anymore today, so. So this concludes our program for this evening. Again, thank you everyone for being here to pay tribute to 4 amazing TRIO achievers and our 2 TRIO champions for 2014. Please enjoy the evening. Thank you.
Everyone, please remember that there is a dance to follow. Okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Where would you like? Right up here or? Okay, let's,
I'm sorry?